one I mind, and this is set number 80058, Celestial Pagoda from the LEGO Monkie Kid theme. This set contains 1,621 pieces, 7 minifigures, and will retail for $149.99 in the US, as well as $139.99 in most places in Europe. This set does not officially release until June 1st, 2024 in most parts of the world, and August 1st, 2024 in North America, but it was gifted to me early for review by the LEGO Group through the LEGO Ambassador Network, but all opinions expressed in this video are my own. I'm doing a bunch of early LEGO reviews right now, including more Monkie Kid as well as Ninjago, Minecraft City, and more. So let me know in the comments which LEGO Monkie Kid set you want to see an early review on next. And if you enjoy this kind of content and you want to see more, make sure to leave a like on the video and subscribe to the channel if you're new. Liking and subscribing helps to put my videos in your feed as soon as they're posted, and also does a ton to help support me and the channel. So thank you all very much for your support, and now let's get into the review. So here's the Celestial Pagoda, and this thing is tall. And I kinda love that. It makes it difficult to store because you don't always have a shelf in your house that can fit something this vertical, but it also makes it a very unique set because it's not the kind of thing we get all the time. I also love the colors on it, the use of this blue especially for the roof and the stairs. That's a shade of blue that's mostly used on like LEGO Friends and LEGO Disney Princess, so seeing it in a Monkie Kid set instead makes this really stand out, and I think it perfectly fits the very like majestic vibe of this build. You can see the actual tower doesn't start at the ground, there's actually a little rocky level underneath it, but it still has like those golden posts coming down. That's a really cool idea too, and of course we'll see the full interior in a moment. But yeah, just initial impressions from the outside, I really like this set. This is super cool looking, but let's move up a little bit closer to see the more intricate details. Starting at the stairs, I love the use of these slope pieces. They create a like very whimsical shape. These are a fairly common part, they've been coming in sets for a few years now, but seeing so many stacked on top of each other, these look really cool together. I also like the use of these like tendril pieces in white. That part's been around for a very long time, and I believe white is from the Rivendell set last year, but in the context of this set, this just looks like wispy clouds coming up. And that's really cool, that fits the set perfectly. These stairs are also built just on a standard LEGO stair piece, you can see it a little bit right here, but I think it's really nice how they actually cover that up so it feels like an entirely unique build, even if it does use that giant molded part underneath. Then this like dungeon area to the side uses a lot of big ugly rock pieces, but I like how they use these golden pillars too to incorporate it in with the pagoda, while also still obviously being a separate section. These pillars too are topped off with roller skate pieces, and this is far from the first set to use those as detailing, but I always love seeing them because they fit in really well despite being obviously used in a very different context. Anyway, you can see there's more of those wispy white parts coming off the sides of these sections, and on one side we have this little waterfall coming down. That does use a sticker on this piece and that can be moved, but then of course the actual little well is brick built. While on the other side we have a little lavender tree, and the colors on this are beautiful. Lavender is a color that again is almost exclusively used in like LEGO Friends, but with the golden leaves it seems like very magical. And you get the new peach pieces on this build too, you get a total of 3 of them. And that was of course introduced earlier this year. It's a molded peach piece for LEGO Monkie Kid, but that's an awesome part and I'm very happy to see it come in more sets. Moving to the ground level, they used these new like fence window pieces that were again introduced earlier this year. This is very similar to the Ninjago fence part, which they've been using for a very long time, and this is compatible with that part, but it is something new for the Chinese New Year sets and Monkie Kid. So again, glad to see it here. It gives Monkie Kid like a consistent aesthetic throughout its different sets. Then we have these double doors here that open up, and these have these really beautiful stickers on them with all this gold detailing. Not sure if there's any symbols here that are especially like relevant to anything, or if they're just like nice looking, but if you guys notice something that I don't, feel free to point it out in the comments. I like the mech fingers here too, topping off the doors. They've been using that piece a lot for detailing recently, but this is one of the best examples of it that I've seen. And there's also a lot of these hanging tassel pieces in this set, which were introduced for the LEGO Ninjago movie. And that makes the set very shaky when I'm reviewing it for this video, but when you have this still and just sitting on a shelf, that'll actually look really nice. The roof is of course that very light blue color that I mentioned before, and the shaping here is simple but nice. It's very rounded and it comes up to these nice points in the corners. These inside corners don't fit in perfectly, they're a lot more angular and a lot less rounded, but even still I think that variation works. It was probably just them working with the parts that they had because I don't believe an inside corner exists like in this system, but you know what, it creates some variation, it creates some texture in these roofs. I honestly don't mind it. This next floor does a very similar thing with the windows that we saw in the previous one, but now we have balconies in this floor. We have one in the front and one on each side, and these are beautiful. I love these. Very cool fence part, and I don't know if I've seen that before. It's not jumping out to me as anything from any other sets. I'm not sure if it's new here, so let me know in the comments if you guys recognize it, but regardless, it's beautiful. I love how that looks. Makes me imagine it as like a very elaborate wooden structure. Then of course above that we have a very similar roof again. This one though has this really elaborate gold design. They use some of those tendril pieces of gold as well as the Ninjago arrow blade piece That part's being used a lot this wave, and it's being recolored a lot too. But it's cool seeing like all the different uses of it. It looks very pretty. And you can see behind these tendrils there's also some stickers. Let me see if I can remove them real quick. Very simple design, just some gold detailing around these bricks. And of course those designs are mostly covered up. But I think that's good, honestly. It's very subtle, but it just adds a little bit more to the build. Above that we have the windows of the next level, and they use like this diamond grill pattern. Obviously a bit less interesting than the previous windows, but I still think these fit in well. They are more standard LEGO pieces though. And the floors are getting thinner and thinner as we go up. Of course, after all this, we're going to take a look inside. But now we have a much larger balcony that wraps all the way around, and that looks really good. And I like these little points that come off that still use the same color scheme, but break up the roof a little bit, because they return to the same roof style above this. But this is a great center to the entire thing to break it all up. But yeah, this is a giant balcony and there's room for minifigures to be posed up here. And then right above that we have this cloud build, which is also very pretty. The clouds are of course an iconic part of LEGO Monkie Kid. Many Monkie Kid sets have used clouds, but I like the combination of the white and the gold here. In the past it's been mostly just white, and that's looked good, but it has felt maybe a little plain, a little one-dimensional. I feel like the gold perfectly breaks it up here, especially when combined with the white, and just adds to the whimsy of the entire thing. The level above that though is back to the diamond grill windows, very similar roof design to what we saw before. Same thing with the next level, that there are some sticker pieces here to add some extra detail, and these new fence pieces are no longer turned on their side. Rather, they're sticking straight up, so you have like the large round windows. I think the stickered pieces frame that perfectly. And then coming to the very top level, we have another one of those new fence pieces, though now it's back on its side, couple more golden tendrils, and then the entire build's topped off with this really beautiful spire. Spire uses a ski pole at the top, which is super funny, but it also fits the build perfectly. So yeah, gorgeous exterior to this. Obviously there's tons of floors, and each of them is very similar, but they each do their own thing, so the build doesn't get boring. Very impressive design, honestly. I'm super happy with it. But now turning this around and looking inside, the back of this build is open. I know some people will be disappointed by that, but honestly I don't mind. It looks good from the front. If you want to display it, just have the front showing. But the back being open makes it easy to play with from the back, and if for some reason you did want this completely covered up, you could just buy two of this set and have them back to back, because this backside is pretty much completely flat. There is a few things you'd have to change out, like these pieces right here, but it would be very simple to do. But anyway, starting at the topmost level, we have a little shrine to display one of the color stones. Now by default that's not there because all 5 of the color stones are on this minifigure, so you will have to remove one from her, but based off official images I believe the yellow one's supposed to go here, so that's how that looks complete. You also may notice this pink printed piece right here. That's actually a little eyeball, and you'll see a lot of them in this build. I believe those are meant to be the eyes of the Thousand-Eyed Demon. Quick correction, that is not the eyes of the Thousand-Eyed Demon, those are the eyes of the Hundred-Eyed Demon. I somehow got my numbers mixed up when I was filming these reviews, and I just continued to say Thousand-Eyed throughout this video, but yes, it's not the Thousand-Eyed Demon, it's the Hundred-Eyed Demon, and I didn't want to re-record major parts of this review just to fix that number. So I will continue to say it wrong throughout this video, but I just wanted to insert this in here to let you know. Anyway, now let's get back to the pre-recorded review. Who does not come in this set, but he does come in 2 of the other sets of this wave, and I guess he's like infested this building, because yeah, these eyes are all over the place. Or maybe it's not infested and he's just captured in the walls? Because I was looking up some of the characters in this set to get more details on them, because obviously Monkie Kid Season 5 hasn't aired yet, and Jing, the character in this set who sits on the throne, who we'll take a look at in just a moment, apparently is known for having a tower that can capture any demon in its walls. So maybe this is just the Thousand-Eyed Demon being captured in the walls, which I don't know if that's better, that still seems a little creepy. But anyway, yeah, now we're at the throne room, and you can see there's a seat right here for a minifigure to sit, and there's how Jing actually looks sitting on it. You can see there's lots more of those eyeballs here, and there's a little stickered piece at the back to add some extra detail. That's quite pretty. But these are the top levels, so these are some of the smaller rooms. But now as we move down to the next level, you might see these brown pieces on the walls. These are actually really cool. It's only 2 parts, but they add a ton to this build. So this build's obviously very vertical, and stability could be an issue. But it seems like they also wanted to make this modular so you could take apart the sections quite easily, and those 2 ideas could be a little bit conflicting. Because modularity is good for play, but makes it a little more unstable because you have to be able to take it apart easily. Or alternatively, you can make it very stable, but then it's difficult to take it apart when you want to. So their solution was to use these clip pieces. This connects 2 different sections together, and they could very easily be unclipped, and once you unclip them, this top section comes off super easily. And you can see with that removed, it's only connected on 4 studs, but thanks to those clips as well, it stays on very sturdily until you want it to come off. But anyway, actually looking on this level, you can see that large balcony is right above. Unfortunately, there's no way to actually get up to that balcony. Maybe some stairs here would have been cool, but that shouldn't be too difficult to add yourself if you really want to. But then this floor, there's just tons of room to pose minifigures, lots of studs, as well as the bookshelves on one side and a little desk on the other, and of course more of the eyeballs. This desk has a sticker piece on it, and it's also very easy to remove. You can see it's got like a little brick built brush on it, which is super cute. And there's the stickered paper piece, which looks to probably be plans to build this building. And there's how the space that holds the desk looks with it removed. Here's a closer look at the bookshelves, or I guess probably scroll shelves. Those are not easily removable, but you can see the stickers on the sides. Again, I really love that gold detailing. They use quite a few stickers like this in the set, and I think they all look quite nice, and just add to the overall feeling that the set gives off. And here we see one of my only real complaints with this set, and this is a very minor thing, but these like scrolls that sit in here aren't actually connected at all, so these fall out super easily. Obviously, if you just have this on display, that's not going to be an issue, but this is meant to be a playset as well, so if you are moving the set around and playing with it, those can fall out super easily, and I feel like this is the kind of thing that, especially with kids, is just going to get lost. Like if a kid's playing with this and then decide they suddenly want to move it to the other side of the table, there you go, they both fall out. Obviously, the shelf piece doesn't have any points connection inside, but it would have been cool if they found a way to lock those in place, because yeah, by default, they are not at all. That's a very, very minor thing though, not a big deal at all. Then we have two more of these brown clip pieces, and of course they can detach the same exact way, and then this entire section can come off the build too. That one actually doesn't attach with any studs, it's just the clips at the back, as well as like these little red lip pieces at the front of the build that slide into these slots here. Here we're at the level with the 3 balconies, and you can see there's a doorway to get to each of them. The one that leads to the front has like these stickered pieces with this brown design on it, and the ones on the sides are pretty standard LEGO door frame pieces. Then there's these tables with vases in the back, and I love how those vases were done. Only 3 parts, but those look really good. I like the use of the ball at the top. And then there's a sticker door on the floor, and you get a total of 3 of these doors in this set. But you open that up, and that's how you get to the level below. Unfortunately, the set doesn't come apart any further. At this point, all these pieces are stuck together. But now we're at the ground floor of the build. Of course, at the front, there's the double doors, which we saw earlier from the outside. Then inside those 2 tables, one on each side. One has a bowl and some chopsticks, the other has a teapot and a little teacup. And then there's 2 doors, one on each side, that use the same design as the door to get into this section. Each of them, if you open them up, has like a little painting behind them. They're both sticker pieces. You can see this one depicts Monkey King looking up at the clouds. And I'm not sure exactly what character or what event this is supposed to be up here, but if anybody knows for sure, let me know in the comments. And then on the other door, you can see there's a portrait of quite a few characters. They each have a different accessory. One's holding like a lute, another has a sword, one has like an umbrella, and it looks like there's a dragon down here, another little creature at the top. But I'm going to be honest, I don't know who these characters are either. I try to watch the Monkey Kid seasons before these reviews, but unfortunately Monkey Kid Season 5 just has not come out yet. Normally we have Part 1 earlier in the year and Part 2 later in the year, but this year Season 5's just been held off till the end of the year. And I do what research I can on like the basis of all this stuff in Journey to the West, but stuff like this, yeah, I'm just not sure. So if anybody knows exactly what characters these are supposed to be, let me know in the comments. I'd be curious to hear, but unfortunately I don't have any more insight to offer on them in this video. The sticker does look cool though, I'll give it that. And that's it for the interior of the actual pagoda. However, we still have the dungeon underneath. Now you may be wondering, how do you get from the pagoda into the dungeon? And well, you do it through one of my favorite LEGO play features ever, a very classic LEGO play feature, this trapdoor on the floor. You pull out on this piece right here, and the trapdoor falls down, and this is just the classic LEGO trapdoor piece. They've been using this piece ever since I was a kid. I remember loving these play features and sets, and it makes me happy whenever I still see them today. Obviously, the idea is simple. You have a minifigure standing on the trapdoor, you pull it out, and they fall underneath into the dungeon. And here's a look at the dungeon up close. We have 2 jail cells with stickers on the side that have little keyholes in them, and they each have cell doors that open up. Inside there is really not very much room at all. You have like a little seat to sit and a mug, and the other side has the exact same thing, though instead of the mug they have a bucket with something green inside, which I don't want to know what that could be in a jail cell. That sounds a little gross. But yeah, these are very cramped. There's just enough room to fit pretty much exactly one minifigure. For example, if Monkey Kid gets captured, you just throw him in there, but you really can't fit anything else in there as well. And you can't see them through the jail bars at the front, which is a fun touch. And then at the back, there's more jail bars. That's not a door or anything, that's mostly just like a window to the outside. As well as some weapon racks with different accessories. We have a sai, one of these like larger spear pieces, a golden whip, which that's actually a pretty cool color for that part. I don't believe that's new, but it's definitely uncommon. And then the Ninjago movie Lloyd sword. Those are just different accessories you could give to your minifigures if you want. Oh, and one more thing I missed, there is one more part of the build that can detach. This very top section that holds the stone comes off super easily too. Just connects on 2 jumper pieces. And there we go, there's all 4 parts of the build separated and pretty much everything there is to the build of the Celestial Pagoda. I actually really like this build, it's pretty much perfect to me. It's got stuff in the interior for play, but also just to make it look interesting. But it's also not too packed either, there's tons of room to pose figures. It's beautiful from the outside and it uses tons of creative parts and colors. And it seems fun too. The dungeon is a very classic play feature, but I'm so happy it's here. This is incredibly well done from top to bottom. Literally, aside from the bookshelves, I don't think I have a single criticism with the build of this set. But of course, the build isn't everything in the set, there is still the minifigures, so now let's take a look at them and then I'll give you my overall thoughts. So we'll start by looking at the main Monkie Kid cast, specifically MK himself and Mei. And the Monkie Kid team has all new matching outfits for this wave, so I'll probably go through them fairly quickly because they're all very similar, though they each do have exclusive torso prints. But yeah, the idea behind these is they seem to be in jackets and sweatpants, which is very funny, very different from any other Monkie Kid figures before, but I'm kinda all here for it. It's a very silly concept, but they made it look super cool. And the coolest part about this is they didn't just do gray sweatpants and gray arms. No, these are actually metallic silver, which makes these feel super premium. The teal on top of the metallic silver is very pretty too, and they have like sneaker printing at the bottom. Then the jackets themselves are of course white with silver sleeves. And then they've got this red design in the center, some silver at the top, and then they each have their own number. So Monkie Kid himself is of course number 1, you can see Mei's number 2, and then they differentiate the torsos a little bit by giving them something else. So Mei's got like a little horse symbol in the corner, Monkie Kid's got this bright orange strap around his body, and if you turn them around you can see that strap connects to a bag on Monkie Kid's back, while Mei just has the number 2, very obvious there. MK does have the number 1, but it is covered up. So yeah, this is really cool consistency between all the figures. And then of course their face prints and hair pieces are pretty standard for the theme. MK's got like a very neutral angry expression, and Mei's got a standard smile, and then turning him around he has the happy face of the face paint, while Mei's alternate face is her angry expression. So these are very wacky new outfits, but I honestly love them. It's super cool to see them mix things up like this. And it's also awesome that all the characters have matching outfits. We have seen that before somewhat, but it's nice to see it again. Then we come to number 4 and number 5, who are Tang and Pigsy, and you may be wondering what happened to number 3. Well, number 3 is actually Monkey King, who does not come in this set, but he does have the same outfit in the 9-headed beast set, which makes the distribution a little weird because all the other characters, this outfit is exclusive to this set, but if you want to complete the line and have Monkey King in this outfit too, that one's exclusive to that set. I kind of wish they'd broken it up a little bit more and just didn't put most of them in one set, but I mean it is cool to see them all. But yeah, it's still the same leg piece on Tang, and unfortunately Pigsy does not get the same leg piece because he uses mid-legs. I wish he still got the sweatpants design on the mid-legs, that would have been nice. It's a shame that he doesn't, but it's an even bigger shame that they switched to dark bluish gray legs in Pigsy. He doesn't even get the metallic silver that the rest of the characters use. Still though, the torso designs are very similar while being unique to him. Tang's of course got the scarf on top, but if I remove that, you can see his torso is pretty standard. It's just the number 4 in the corner. I don't really see any other defining features that make that Tang's torso. I think it's the fact that he has the scarf on top. And then Pigsy doesn't have any unique accessories either, but his belly's sticking out the bottom. I guess the shirt's too small for him. And then around the back, of course, they still have their numbers. Number 4 for Tang, number 5 for Pigsy. And then finally for the main Monkie Kid cast, we have Sandy and we have Kitten Mo. Sandy actually has worn sweatpants before, so I think this outfit actually fits him a lot better than the other characters. In that, like, if they weren't all wearing it, it wouldn't feel out of place for him to be wearing it. He comes with another peach as an accessory, as well as a brick-built dumbbell. And of course, they're still using minifigure Sandy. Taking the beard and mohawk off, you can see the full jacket. And just like Pigsy, this seems too small on him, but probably because he's too muscular for it. It's actually torn on the sides, and that's why he doesn't have sleeves. He's still wearing his magenta necklace too, and that actually wraps all the way around his back. And then of course, yes, he's number 6, so he's got number 6 on the back, number 6 on the front. I actually like how unique they made this one. Still fits in with the others, but feels uniquely Sandy. And then Kitten Mo is still very cute. I'm not sure why Mo is still a kitten in sets, because he's not a kitten in the show, like, at all. It was a fun gimmick for one wave, but I'm surprised they haven't gone back to the other one. But hey, it's a super cute figure, so I'm not gonna complain. I do love Kitten Mo. I just kind of also miss the full-sized version. And now moving away from the main Monkey Kid gang and to the other characters in the set, we have Jing. Of course, I talked about him a little bit before, but he's the king, he's the one who's sitting on the throne of this temple. And he uses this hairpiece with a crown that we first saw in the Heavenly Realms a few years ago. His outfit is actually very reminiscent of Monkey King's and Nurja's from the Nurja mech. It's not exactly the same, but they have the same armor and they all have red capes. So I'm not sure if that's intended to be a full line or if they just happen to look similar. But regardless, I do like it. He uses white, teal, and gold. And the gold's probably my favorite part. I like how it's used on both the legs and the arms in terms of the actual piece. But then the printing's also used all throughout the torso and the legs. There is a little bit of discoloration in the legs, which is a shame. It definitely makes the figure look less premium. But that's an issue LEGO's had for a very long time now, and I always point it out when I see it, but I have yet to see it fixed. His armor piece is not new, it came in the Monkey Kid sets earlier this year. Both Mei and Monkey Kid used it, but it's like this armor that has little dragon heads on it, and I think that's awesome. And here's a look at the back torso print too if I remove the hairpiece. Face print is of course new and double-sided. On one side he's like angry and screaming, the other side he's more cool, calm, and collected, and he's got his eyes closed. His accessory you can see is this tiny little tower, and I think he's a good minifigure all things considered. Great exclusive to have in this set, and aside from the quality of the leg printing, I'm fairly happy with how he was done. And finally, we come to the last minifigure in this set, and what's probably the best minifigure in this set, we have Nüwa. Now this minifigure was teased earlier this year in the Megapolis set, but this is a significantly better version of this character. She's of course a very important character. If I'm reading this correctly, she's the one who created all of humanity, so quite a cool character to get, and they went all out with this design. I guess I'll start with her armor and what's on her back, because that's the most significant part. But yeah, she reuses the Ninjago crystallized, like, golden dragon armor, and that's a very cool reuse of that part, because she attaches something to the back just like those figures did, but it's not dragon wings, instead it's this ring. And the ring holds the 5 color stones, which are the collectibles of this wave. You get 1 or 2 in all the other sets, but in this set you get every single one, so you can attach them all here to her back to power her up. With that removed though, we can focus on the actual figure a little bit more, and my other favorite detail is the fact that she has a snake tail out the back. Now the snake tail piece has been around for a very long time. I believe it was first introduced in Ninjago, right? Yeah, it was 2012 Ninjago with the Snake Generals we first got this piece. But correct me in the comments if I'm wrong, I believe this is the first time it's been dual molded. The snake tail's always been made in 2 parts. It has a plastic part and a rubber part, but I believe every previous instance of this piece had those 2 parts in the same color. So like for example on Pythor it'd be purple plastic, purple rubber. But no, this figure does it differently. It's bright green for the plastic and teal for the rubber. And that's genuinely so awesome. This is already one of my favorite minifigure parts and this makes it even better. I really love how that was done. But aside from that, the actual printing's amazing too. This like dress that she's wearing is incredibly detailed, and I love the color scheme that they chose. The teal, the gold, and the dark green look beautiful on top of the spring green. And the orange I think is easily the weakest part, but it's used very sparsely here. I think as an accent it works fine. And she's got an all new hairpiece here too that also has printing on it. She's wearing like a crown as well as a little emblem in her hair. And here, I'll give you a 360 spin so you can see the hairpiece in all of its detail. But yeah, that looks amazing. Removing the armor, you can see a full look at her torso print as well as a better look at her back print. She's got like this bird emblem on the back in metallic gold. That's very pretty. And then the face print on this minifigure is the same one from Megapolis earlier this year. On one side, she's got like this green eyeshadow and a little crown, but on the alternate side, she seems a little more normal, a little more human. And here's how the alternate face looks with the hairpiece on. This is an incredible minifigure. This might be one of my favorite minifigures of this year just in general. The designers did a fantastic job. I could not be happier with this. And so, overall, what are my thoughts on this set? This set's great, honestly. I love this one. Now, one thing I haven't touched on yet is the price, but the price here honestly feels perfectly fine to me. It's $150 in the US, $140 in Europe. And like, could it have been cheaper? Yeah, probably. But it's 1,600 pieces, 7 minifigures, all of which are exclusive. And the build's big too. It's not like it just uses a bunch of small parts. Like, no, they make use of all those pieces. I'm surprised this isn't 170, 180, or even 200. 150 seems like the right price for this thing, which I'm very happy to say. So 100% I would recommend this set. Obviously, $150 is a lot of money, so this certainly it's not going to be for everybody. But if you're a fan of Monkie Kid, or just the legends it's based on, or even just a fan of pretty buildings and LEGO, this is one I'd recommend checking out. Structurally, it's unique, it's very tall, we don't get many tall LEGO sets like this. The colors are super unique too, they're not used in this way very often. And the architecture is beautiful throughout. And it's also just fun to play with, too, for kids. So for Monkie Kid fans especially, yes, I would absolutely recommend this. I'm surprised to say this is my favorite set of the wave. From initial impressions, I liked it, but the Nerja mech and the 9-headed beast were more interesting. But now that I built everything, no, absolutely, this is the best set of the wave. It might be one of my favorite Monkie Kid sets of all time. So yeah, excellent work all around, could not be happier with this set. Genuinely just a super cool one. But of course, those are just my thoughts. Let me know what you guys think of this set in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to leave a like on it and subscribe to my channel if you're new. And let me know in the comments which summer 2024 LEGO Monkie Kid set do you want to see an early review on next. But as for this one, I think that's about all I have to say. So thanks for watching everybody, I hope you all enjoyed, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!